Hi guys, welcome to our Discovery Days. Thank you to our free family fund sponsor, the Chickasaw Nation. And we are the Oklahoma Hall of Fame, and we tell Oklahoma's story through its people. And today's person is Mattie O. Watts Kims. She was an artist when she moved to Enid, Oklahoma with her husband to open a grocery store. She liked to paint landscapes based off of the wildlife scenery in north central Oklahoma. And during the Great Depression, Watts Kims bartered some of her paintings for musical instruments so that, kids could learn to play instruments, which is super sweet. That's very nice of her. And today our story is The Very Hungry Caterpillar. So I'm going to go ahead and share our book screen. We were having a little bit of technical difficulties with it earlier, so I might be able to get her to work right now. Give her just a second. She's being a little testy today, as we all are with technology, right? There we go. All right. So today we are going to be reading The Very Hungry Caterpillar. And I'd imagine it's pretty hungry. In the light of the moon, a little egg lay on a leaf. And there's a little egg right there. One Sunday morning, the warm sun came up and popped. Out of the egg came a tiny and very hungry caterpillar. He started to look for some food. On Monday, he ate through one apple, but he was still very hungry. On Tuesday, he ate through 2 pears, but he was still hungry. On Wednesday, he ate through 3 plums, but he was still hungry. On Thursday, he ate through 4 strawberries, but he was still hungry. On Friday, he ate through 5 oranges, but he was still hungry. On Saturday, he ate through 1 piece of chocolate cake, 1 ice cream cone, 1 pickle, 1 slice of Swiss cheese, 1 slice of salami, 1 lollipop, 1 piece of cherry pie, and 1 sausage, 1 cupcake, and 1 slice of watermelon. That night, he had a tummy ache. The next day was Sunday again. The caterpillar ate through 1 nice green leaf, and after that, he felt much better. Now that he wasn't hungry anymore, and he wasn't a little caterpillar anymore, he was a big fat caterpillar. He built a small house called a cocoon around himself, and he stayed inside for more than 2 weeks. Then he nibbled a hole on the cocoon, pulling his way out, and he was a beautiful butterfly. That's a really cool story, huh? I wish I could eat a ton of stuff and become a beautiful butterfly. But today our craft is making a bumblebee. So I'm going to give you some basic craft supplies and we are going to get started. So you're going to need some scissors, and if you need adult assistance with your scissors, let them know. You're going to need a black crown. And then in your craft kit or in your at-home kit, you'll need either a white or black piece of paper. If you have a black piece of paper at home you'd rather use, it probably works pretty well for you because we're just going to color this white piece of paper black. A yellow piece of paper. And where are my googly eyes? They're somewhere in here. All right, and 2 googly eyes. So our first step is going to be putting our googly eyes and our yellow piece of paper aside. And we are going to start by drawing our black lines. So these are going to be the black stripes of the bumblebee. And so I'm going to do my first one, and that's going to be about that size. We're only going to need about, I believe, 3, depending on how big or how small you make your own stripes. So you're going to color that in real fast. And once you have that colored in, you can go ahead and start cutting it out. So I'm going to cut out my black stripe. And once you have your black stripe cut out, you're going to go ahead and want to measure 1 more black stripe with the one that you've made. So that way we can keep it kind of even. And then you want to color that one in. And once you have this one colored in, we will start on our yellow stripes. So now that that stripe is colored in, I'm going to go ahead and pull it out or cut it out. Now I have two black stripes. I'm going to set my piece of paper aside, and I'm going to take this yellow piece of paper and draw a line for my yellow stripe. And I believe you will only need one yellow stripe if you've made your black stripes as thick as mine. But we will see because we'll line them up in just a second. So I'm going to cut out my yellow stripe, and it's okay if one side is a little bit sketchy because we'll just glue that side down. That's fine. And so now you should have a black, a yellow, and another black. So black and yellow, and then another black. And then I'm going to see if these measure out enough to be able to not have to make another yellow stripe. I don't know. So I'm going to do my black, my yellow, and then my black again. And it looks like it measures out pretty well for myself. So I'm going to go ahead and call that good. And then I'm going to start working on trying to decide what part next. So we could go ahead and glue these on and then make a face because we have to make face and wings as well. So I think we're going to go ahead and glue these on. So you're going to need a glue stick or liquid glue. And what you're going to want to do is flip over your black piece and start applying a ton of glue onto the back of the bumblebee. And so just apply as much as you think is necessary, and obviously I think a lot is necessary, so I'm gonna pretty aggressively put some glue on it. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my black and kind of line it up to the top, kind of not, because I can adjust the black once it's on. So I'm just going to kind of keep pressing it out until it feels pretty flat and make sure it wraps all the way around. And press down. And you're going to want to give your bumblebee time to dry. But I'm just pressing down. And if I have this little bit of white up here, I can just color it in. And then since I have kind of some of these like little black lines, I'm going to glue that side of the sheet down. That way you don't see them. So you're going to start applying glue the same way you did on the black stripe. Like I said, I just think a lot of glue is necessary for this. That way it stays on pretty well. You can do it any way you'd like. It is your bumblebee after all. And so now I'm going to wrap my yellow around. Now my yellow is wrapped around. That one went on a lot easier than my black stripe did. And then our last black stripe, and you're going to flip it over to the white side. Make sure that you are gluing on the white side and not the black side. That way you can make sure the black side is being shown. So I don't think bees come with a white stripe. They could. I could be very wrong, but I don't think so. So now you're going to take this black strip and you're going to set it down and begin gluing all the way around your bumblebee. This one's being a little bit difficult, but that's okay. And I'm going to just press down. That way you can get that kind of like press down look. And there is the stripes on my bumblebee. So we're going to set that aside. That way it has time to dry. And we are going to begin on our bumblebee's face. And I'm actually going to take my my toilet paper roll and I'm going to use it to trace out my bumblebee head. So now I have this circle and I'm going to use this circle to cut out my bumblebee's face. So you can just start cutting that away. And if you need help cutting because this is kind of harder, I know circles are harder to cut out for some people. Go ahead and ask an adult for assistance or a guardian. And now I have a head. And so remember those two googly eyes from before? We're going to go ahead and glue those on. So one googly eye. 1, 2 googly eyes. We're going to do a tiny little smile. Little smile. Ta-da! And I'm going to set him aside. I'd like those eyes to dry a little bit. And then we're going to take our white piece of paper. And I'm going to fold it kind of like a hot dog first. And then once I folded it like a hot dog, I'm going to fold it like a hamburger. And what this is going to do is it's going to cut out 2 identical wings. So you're going to just cut a half watermelon shape. I guess I could draw it for you first. So I'm going to draw half of a watermelon and I'm just going to cut it out exactly like that. So, and this might be a little bit of a harder cut for some of y'all because it is really thick piece of paper. Again, if you need help, don't forget to ask. And now that I have those, I now have 2 perfectly sized wings. So now it's time to assemble all of our little parts. So I'm going to go ahead and do my wings. So I'm going to add a little bit of glue there, add a little bit of glue here. And you're going to want to go to the back kind of where the seam is, and you're just going to put 1 wing. You don't have to glue it all the way down because you want it to poke out the sides. And then 2. And again, before you start moving them around a whole lot, you do want them to dry. So make sure you give your glue time to dry. And I'm going to take my face and start gluing the back of that. And the face isn't going to lay flat perfectly, so keep that in mind. I'm not going to try to press it super flat. I'm just going to let it sit how it sits and call that good. So I'm going to press that down, and there goes a wing because I didn't give it enough time to dry, but that's okay because I can put it back on. Awesome. And so now you want to let your little bumblebee dry before you play with him. That's how you make a bumblebee. Thank you guys for coming to our Discovery Days, and we hope to see you again next week.